Hey everybody, it's Owen from owenzhub, and today I have a bit of a different video. This is a Gundam review, or Gunpla, which is basically just a plastic model kit that you have to put together yourself and paint it if you aren't lazy. And I'm not sometimes. Sometimes I have time, and I did have time. So I did paint this guy. This is the Real Grade Gundam Mk-II Titans. I'm going to be showing this to you, and yeah. I can't really say building and showing it to you because it's built. So I've never actually seen any of the Gundam animes. I wanted to see Iron-Blooded Orphans, I wanted to see Gundam Unicorn, I want to see Gundam 00, which were my favorite mobile suits from Exia. Yeah, never seen any of them, so I can't really tell you about any of them. I just know that it's a bunch of giant robots fighting, which I already like. And there's multiple Gundam Timelines. There's Universal Sentry, Gundam Seed, Gundam 00 is its own timeline, I think. Yeah. These aren't your standard cartoons, these are anime, as I mentioned. May or may not be in Japanese, may or may not have subtitles, may or may not be in English. So I'm gonna go behind the camera and yeah, show you the details and all that good stuff, and tell you how you can make your model kit look like this if you want to. If you don't like this look, leave a comment, you know, say what I could have done better. I'm not the best painter, this is like my first time that I've actually done this kind of technique. Without further ado, let's look at this guy. So taking a quick look at the box, you can see we got the Real Grade logo up there, we got the name of the Gundam, we got an image of the completed model kit without paint, and this has all the stickers on it. I didn't bother. And then you can see we got a giant image of its head with the Vulcan pod. I'll talk about that in a bit. And looking at the side, you can see some product shots, a picture of the inner frame, and then you can see on the other side, we just got some various poses of the Mk-II Gundam. Back is just solid black. So yeah, that's the box. So here is the kit itself. The technique that I use to paint this guy is dry brushing. Basically what that is you take a brush, put a little bit of paint on it, wipe the paint off, and just brush it with the dry end of the paintbrush, and you get this weathered effect, kinda sorta. I went for a silver color because if you use a dark color on a dark color, it looks pretty bad. You imagine it's just dark on dark, it wouldn't look like anything. So you would always go for silver paint on a darker kit, but on a lighter kit, you should go for like a black or a brown or a good color for whatever you're trying to go for. But taking a look at the model kit itself, you can see it's got a nice intricate head design. You got a V-fin, you got the little head camera, you got the eyes. You can see we got the little pod or the cockpit for the pilot. It's really hard to open. You gotta like dig your nail in there. I'm just gonna let you know it does. Actually, let me try to use one of these beam sabers. Yep, okay, so that's not gonna open, but it does open. Most model kits, or most real grids at least, have opening cockpits, but they don't have a pilot figure in there because otherwise that would be extremely small. So, no pilot figure. We got the nice shoulder pads, we got the nice little vents on the chest, we got the lights. It's kind of like an improved version of the good old Granddaddy Gundam. It's got about the same head design, just a bit more proportionate. It's not just like a block. You can see the waist is a bit more like curved in and it goes out. You got the nice waist unit with the flaps. You can see the legs. You got some vents on the side of the legs. You got the yellow. It's got like a nice flat foot there with this little ankle guard. Nice and solid, nothing wants to really fall apart or anything. This head joint is a little bit loose, but we'll talk about that when we cover the articulation. So here is the Gundam Mk-II Titans with everything that it comes with. You got a standard set of beam sabers, a bazooka, a shield, the Vulcan pod, and a set of fist manipulators. So as well as these fists, you get an open hand that's just used for the shield holding side or his left arm, and a trigger hand for using with the beam rifle. Here is the beam rifle, and as you can see, it's got the same colors as the mobile suit itself. It's got the dark blue, it's got a bit of silver, and a bit of bronze, kind of rusty-ish color that I painted on there myself. It's got a moving handle that moves down and up, and that's all the moving parts on it. You can take the trigger hand and open it up like that, just pop out the back, slot this into there. There should be a little tab, it should snap in like so, and then put the other part of the hand back on. And now you can see we got the beam rifle being held and bringing over the mobile suit. You just peg that into his arm, And there you go. Now he's holding the beam rifle. Next accessory is the shield. It's got the same color scheme as the Mobile Suit. We got some dark blue and some black, as well as a little bit of red and some gold stickers that I just applied before the video started because I saw that they were on the box and I was like, you know, those look pretty good. I might go over and paint those in the future because I feel like they're out of place. Because, I mean, you can see you got this nice shiny gold, but then you got all this metal worn down effect. So I might go over that in the future. I applied some silver onto the red. It doesn't look that good. I should probably go over with some bronze or rusty-ish color. And on the back, you can see we got a moving handle. You can make the shield shorter or longer, depending on your taste. I like it to be longer. You can clip this ammo piece on the back of the shield and it just snaps into the little hole down there. We got a handle that pegs into the arm. Ringing over the Mobile Suit once more. There's a peg in the back of his arm right there. You plug it into there and there you go. Now you got him with his shield. And I do gotta admit, he looks really good with that shield attached, but he doesn't look half as good without his open manipulator. And now you got a Mark II Gundam ready for battle. This guy also comes with a bazooka, which has a removable clip. You just slide it out like that and slide it right back in. You can kind of move the handle a little bit. It doesn't really extend or anything. It just kind of stays like that. And what's cool about it is it can actually be stored on the Mobile Suit itself. So if you see back here on the butt flap, there's a little opening compartment that opens up like so. You take the bazooka, you insert it there, bend him backwards a little bit, and try to close it up as much as you can. And there you go. Now he's got his bazooka. But, in my opinion, his look is not complete without the Vulcan pod, which I honestly could not tell you what it does at all. But it's just this cool headpiece that looks really cool, and I like it. And what you can do with it, you put it over his head, and there are two tabs that should just have it snap, you can see. It's got one right there, and then you just gotta line it up. Okay, just pop off his head to do it. And there you go. Now we got the Vulcan pod. For his final accessory, you can take these beam sabers off of the backpack and take these beam saber effect parts, plug it in there, and now you get a beam saber. I don't use the beam sabers just because I feel like his beam rifle and his shield are cooler accessories, but if you felt like having that in hand, you can, or you just plug them into the back. Get two effect parts, and you can see the two beam sabers are stored on the backpack. So as for this guy's articulation, in my opinion, he definitely does not disappoint. You can look up that far and look down that far. Arms move out a really good amount, and they move down a little bit, like so, and you center that. You got a really tight rotation, which is common for most real grades. You got the nice bend at the elbow, like that, and then you got a bicep rotation. That panel sometimes falls off. If you're really annoyed about it, then I would recommend gluing it, but it's not that big a deal to me. You can see you got a bit of up and down at the wrist, and then the actual wrist itself is on a ball joint, so it can rotate. You get a little bit of side to side, and some up and down. Whole arm can kind of swing forward a little bit. Got a waist rotation. Got an ab crunch and a bit of an arc. You got a little bit of side to side at the waist. Front skirts move up, the side skirts, and the butt flap. I'll show you that in a second, which allows for a nice kick up to the front. Moving back here, butt flap moves out, which allows it to kick back that far, which is pretty good. And as I mentioned, the side skirts move out a bit, allowing for a pretty good spread. And you can see some of these parts are falling off. I've never really had this problem before, but then again, I usually just pose my gunpla once and never touch it again. So that might be something. Got a generous bend at the knee. Got a thigh rotation. You got a nice moving gimmick with the knee. You can see the armor kind of moves as you move it, which is really nice. It's common with most real grades where you can see it's got some nice detail when you move it, and it reveals like a little bit of a separating gimmick. You got slight ankle pivot. You got the ankle guard, kind of moves up and down a little bit. You got a toe down and a bit of a toe up, and you got a rotation at the foot. So as you can see, the posability on this guy is pretty good, but it's bumped up to 11 in my opinion when you bring in a stand. And what you can do, you just take the included adapter piece, slide it in right there. It's a bit tricky. You gotta slide this into this crotch piece. So once you finally get him on the stand, you can see he does look really, really cool. He's got his gun, he's on his stand, and yeah, just overall looking pretty cool. So that is it for the review, and what can I say? This kit's pretty good. It's got great posability and it looks great, and I think what I did with the paint is pretty good. If you guys have any tips, tricks, or comments on the paint that I did, or just anything in general, you can leave that down there in the comment section. I try to read some of my comments, or most of the comments. And yeah, drop a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye!